From the News Channel 5 Network, this is OpenLine.
Hello everyone, welcome to OpenLine. I am Ben Hall. Very good show tonight. We are delving into the Better Business Bureau. What does all of this growth in Nashville mean for consumers? And we are very happy to have with us the CEO of the Better Business Bureau, Kathleen Callaghan. Kathleen, thank you for being with us.
Oh, thanks for having us.
So I'm fascinated. As you came up here, you were just talking about the past year. Most of us know what the Better Business Bureau does. I mean, you try and identify ethical people in the workplace, ethical businesses in the workplace. If you have a complaint, you go to the Better Business Bureau.
Absolutely.
And you help resolve it.
Yeah.
But what have you seen in the last year?
Well, what we've seen is an explosion of business, and that's fantastic for any market. And we've also seen an explosion in people moving to this area. Think of what that means, Ben. Have you ever moved?
Yeah.
You don't have a doctor, you don't have a dentist, you don't have a home repair person, you don't have an auto mechanic, you don't have any of the consumer resources. So you're kind of out there, who am I going to do business with? And when you say that, in your mind you're always also saying, who am I going to do business with that I can trust? So that is a main focus of the Better Business Bureau for all consumers. If you're going to do business in this market, that we're like the library of resource for commerce. You come to the Better Business Bureau and you look for a business that you want to spend your money with. That's the only reason you should be using the Better Business Bureau. We do handle complaints like you mentioned, but usually complaints come because they haven't checked out first a business that they're confident in.
And you were saying, okay, other cities have grown. So we're in this enormous growth.
Yeah.
You look at other cities, Miami or LA, that grew really quickly. And where did they maybe make a mistake in your world?
Well, in my world, the mistake was made with not having a very strong business standard, not a law, the business standard that was the responsibility of the Better Business Bureau in LA and also in Miami. Two areas, and I'm glad we're using that as an example, two areas that no longer have Better Business Bureaus. Now, can you imagine that? There are 113 Better Business Bureaus across the country, and both of those markets lost their Better Business Bureau for low performance. And at the same time, what happened is that the standard for doing business became whatever. It was whatever the market would bear. So consumers were left without a resource. We've kind of solved the problem in both communities by bringing San Diego and San Jose together to provide services, but that's a huge market. And if you know anything about commerce, whatever happens in that area of California moves all across the country.
That's right.
That's where the new products, the new launches, the new music, the new entertainment, the new scams, they all start in that West Coast area and they move across. And then we have Miami where it all moves up. So that's two prime examples of marketplaces that you have to be very careful when you do business.
So when it comes to bad actors or scams or whatever it is, what are we seeing?
Well, in our market, we're seeing a huge influx of service repair people, home improvement. We like to say at the Better Business Bureau, if you were a roofer in Tulsa, you could be in business, a roofer in business in Nashville today because the demand is high. You would have no business experience. You know, there's more to business than being able to do the skill. You've got to manage that business. You've got to know how to take care of customers. You've got to have cash flow. You've got to do the ABCs of business too. So our market is so hot and it's such need for service mechanics, lawn and garden people, repair people, all of that industry, people who work for someone else in another market are now coming into our market, and that's a wonderful thing in America. You can be in business tomorrow if you want to be.
Right.
But there's responsibilities for being in business, and that's what the Better Business Bureau's focus is. Welcome to our market, but there are rules for being in business, there's laws for being in business, and there's also ethical standards. That's where BBB comes in.
So let's take this from two perspectives. Okay, say you're this person who moves here to start a business. You're a roofer in Tulsa, and you hear Nashville's booming, and you come here, and you're ethical, you want to do everything right. How do you interact with the Better Business Bureau? What do you do in that sense?
That is such a great question, and I hope there's so many listeners that this applies to. You are transparent. You come to the Better Business Bureau, to our website, you register your business. The profile you would provide, it has nothing to do with anything that you wouldn't want to share with your banker or your customer or a vendor. It's basic information. Who are you? What's your address? What's your website? Your phone number? Where do you bank? What are some customer references? What's your license number? All of those things, that's transparency in the marketplace, so that the Better Business Bureau can put together a business profile for your company based on that information, and then publish it on our website, so that when your customer that you're working really hard to get, they decide to do business, the last thing they're going to do before they sign that contract or say, come on over and do my driveway, they're going to come to the Better Business Bureau, they're going to key in your name, and if you're not there, they're going to wonder why.
Right.
And if we do have a profile and you have a rating, that builds customer trust right there. Well, this company's rated by the BBB. The company has given all their information. I feel more confident about doing business with you. You're real. You're not fly by night.
Yeah, absolutely. You're willing to take that
real
step. And then how do you rate them? Well,
rating is based on a pretty dynamic algorithm. It's a private algorithm for Better Business Bureaus across the country. The big factors is how long you've been in business. If you haven't been in business a year, it's difficult to give you a rating because you don't have a performance record. So how long you've been in business, the nature of your business, that's a big factor. It plays a huge influence in that rating. And most of all, if you have customer complaints, and all businesses do sooner or later, what do you do about them? Do you openly address them? If it's a legitimate complaint, do you resolve it? Do you ignore your complaints? And you would be surprised at how many businesses do that, unfortunately, to the detriment of their future.
And that is, when you're coming up with a rating, that's a big part of it. If they just ignore the complaint.
All of that is an influencer in the rating. We rate businesses on a scale just like you got your report card, an A+ all the way down to F. I'm so thrilled that in this market as of today, there are less than 2,000 businesses with an F rating.
Okay.
And every one of those businesses could change that rating tomorrow if they contacted BBB and responded to their unhappy customers. How simple it is. Every business controls their rating.
So now, even a business that has an F, does that mean they have registered? They have at least taken the step to register?
Maybe they haven't.
So they may not have even registered.
But most importantly, they've had a customer complaint with BBB, and we've contacted them, and they've ignored it.
That's the biggest issue.
And I'll tell you, Ben, we are so conscientious about that. When before a company gets an F rating, we don't want any company in this market to have an F rating. I have one staff person all day long that does nothing but try to contact those companies and say, BBB needs your cooperation. We want you to have a good rating in this market. If you don't respond to these customer complaints, you're going to have an F. Can you help me out here?
Wow.
Can you help your customer out? Can you get this resolved?
So there's somebody working on that full time.
Full time, yes.
All right, we're going to take a break. If you want to call with a question, there's the number 615-737-PLUS, 615-737-7587. Then we'll come back and I want to talk about it from the perspective of the consumer, how
Right.
they best use BBB. We'll take a break. Be back right after this.